Hi, I'm Deborah. I was abandoned by my parents at the age of 5. Before continuing my story, I invite you to subscribe and don't forget to activate the notification bell so you don't miss the next stories. My parents were street musicians. They performed music on the streets for money. They took me with them so that people would have mercy and be much more generous. And this way of doing things was really paying off. They made even more money whenever I was with them. As a result, my parents made me drop out of school. They called me their gold mine. I must confess that I was fed up with this situation. Mom pleases, I don't want to go there anymore. Where do you think we'll get money from? What do you think you are going to eat? But Mom, I don't like this place. Hurry up. We're going there whether you like it or not. My mother dragged me by the hand to the public garden, and off we went for another day. I spent all day sitting there on the floor, watching people and hearing them sing. I admit that their singing was good. But one day, the police decided to chase away all those who engaged in this kind of activity in public places. According to them, it was a disturbance to public order. My parents had to stop. Unfortunately, living conditions became difficult again. We were struggling to make ends meet. One evening, I overheard a conversation between my two parents, and this caught my attention because they were talking about me. "What are we going to do with the little one?" says Mom. Dad resumed saying, "There is no way we will miss this opportunity. We can entrust him to one of our acquaintances. Among those you know, who can agree to keep a kid who does not belong to him? We will find a solution tomorrow." At that moment, I understood that my parents wanted to leave without me. They intended to abandon me. The next morning, my mother took me with her to church. I thought we went there to pray, but it wasn't the case at all. When we got to the church, she asked me to sit down for a few minutes, waiting for her to come back. "Deborah, please, my darling, wait for me here a few moments. I will be back to get you." I watched my mother leave, but I could never imagine for a moment that she was abandoning me. I sat there for hours and hours, until I realized that it was already dark, driven by fear, and tormented by hunger and thirst. I started crying. At that moment, a man of God approached me and asked, "My little one, what is it? What are you doing here all alone?" My mother left me there for several hours already, but till now she hasn't come back. Poor little girl. "Come, we're going to wait for your mom in my office. Dry your tears, my little one. What's your name?" "Deborah." "My name is Deborah." Night had completely fallen, and Mom was nowhere to be found. The priest took me to a room near the sacristy to spend the night there. I spent the night there in tears. It was then that I realized that my parents had actually abandoned me. They left without me. The next morning, the priest came to fetch me. "Hello, Deborah. Did you sleep well?" "Not at all, Pastor. Why did my parents abandon me?" "No, my daughter does not say that. Maybe your mom had a problem." "Come, you'll have your breakfast, and we'll get your parents." A few hours later, the priest and I went home to look for them, but unfortunately, they weren't there. The neighbors told us that they had left the day before, that they had taken away several things as if they were moving. I started crying again. My parents actually left without me. The priest and I headed back to the church. Not knowing what to do with me, he decided to place me in an orphanage. And from the orphanage, I was finally adopted by a very wealthy family. My adoptive family was one of the wealthiest families in town. My adoptive mother is called Agatha. She could not have children, so she adopted the children to satisfy her desire to be a mother. We were 3 adopted children, and I was the youngest. The other children accepted me as their little sister. They were really very adorable. I grew up in this family surrounded by all the love I needed, but I had not forgotten my parents. However, I felt nothing but resentment for them. Every trace of love I had for them had disappeared. With every passing day, I hated them the more. And despite the love I received from my new family, I couldn't forgive them. Time passed and I grew older. I had become a very beautiful young girl. In fact, people told me that often. In high school, I discovered my passion for music. Apparently, my biological parents had passed on their gift to me. I belonged to a music group, and I was really good at it. I sang and I played the guitar. I was practically the best in my school. After obtaining my GCE, I decided to embark solely on music, signing contracts with different record labels and growing my career. One evening, while I was on tour in Europe, my manager came to tell me that someone wanted to see me. When he let me know that the woman said she was my mother, I immediately asked him to let her in. I thought it was my adoptive mother, but I was surprised to know that it was the reverse. "Hello, Deborah." I jumped at the sound of that voice. I recognized that voice well. When I turned around, I saw her. Despite the vague memories I had of her face, I recognized her. It was her. It was my biological mother. "You have grown into a beautiful young woman." I felt the anger welling up inside me. "Get out of here before I call security." "Deborah, I'm your mother. I do not know you. Please, Deborah, listen to me. I have only one mother, and she is the one who has taken care of me until today." Before she could say a word, I immediately called security. My mother began to shout, "Let go of me. It's my daughter. Let me go." She stormed out of my dressing room. I admit that I felt a heavy pinch in my heart. I wanted to throw myself into her arms and kiss her again, but my heart was still filled with hatred and resentment towards her. When my tour was over, I went home to tell my adoptive mother. She was sweet, caring, and full of wisdom. Above all, she had an attentive ear, quick to listen to me when I needed her. She really was the mother I needed. "Mom, are you there? I would like to talk to you." "Yes, my daughter, I am right here," she answered. I told her everything that had happened when I was on tour. She was similarly surprised. Then she said to me, "Find a place for your mother in your heart to forgive your mother. At least listen to what she has to tell you." Since I was already earning a lot of money, I decided to take a flight to another city. I started by buying a chic and luxurious apartment by the sea and moved in, but a few months later, my biological mother came to see me again in this new apartment. "Hello, Deborah. What are you doing here? Who let you in? Please listen to me. What do you have to say to me?" "I do not want to see you. I don't want to listen to you either. That day when I abandoned you, I regretted my actions, and I wanted to come back for you. But your father stopped me. We had to seize a huge opportunity, and it was strictly forbidden to take children with us. Whatever the case, a mother does not abandon her child. The moment you did that, I considered you dead." I refused to forgive her. I didn't want to hear from her anymore. I dragged her out of my apartment and threw her out like trash. What would you have done in my place?